Okay, what is going on, everybody? And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, to everybody who celebrates Thanksgiving. And I hope everybody's safe on this holiday, this weird 2020 Thanksgiving. With not much stuff going on this year, everybody had to be social distance. I hope everybody's safe and everybody's doing all right. And hopefully, everybody had a good holiday, whoever celebrates Thanksgiving. But I thought it'd be right to do another Juggernaut retro review for another Survivor Series. And the Survivor Series that I'm going to be reviewing is Survivor Series 1995. And overall, I thought this was a pretty decent show. I mean, mainly for the main event, because that main event match was pretty good. And the rest of the stuff is kind of forgettable on this show. Not really much to mention on. So I'm kind of go run through these matches pretty quick. But before we get started with this review, go follow me on all my social media platforms. Go follow me at Twitter at the True JSB, and then go follow me on Instagram, the True JSB. Both those links will be down below. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get started with this Survivor Series review. So the first match I kicked off the show was a 4-on-4 Survivor Series elimination match. We had the bodied Dorans. I think I'm saying that right. 1-2-3 Kid, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Rad Radford, and Skip going up against the underdogs. Barry Hortzwit, Bob Holly, Hakishu, I can't even pronounce his name right, and Marty Jannetty. This was an alright match. I mean, really nothing too crazy about this match. I think that the main focal point of this match was 1-2-3 Kid, and I'm not going to be really correct on like all of these storylines and stuff because I haven't really watched much of these build-ups to these shows. So I'm sorry about that. But I think 1-2-3 Kid, or AKA X-Pac or AKA Shawn Waltman, he really stood out in this match here. And he was the sole survivor for his team. But it was an alright match. I mean, we saw a few good spots in this match. I think maybe it was Bob Holly or it was somebody did a top rope power bomb. I thought that was pretty cool, doing some big moves like that back in the day, back in the mid 90s. So I thought that was pretty cool. We even saw what's his face come out. We even saw Psycho Sid come out and kind of help out 1-2-3 Kid to win the match. And we also saw Razor Ramon backstage. He was pissed off that the 1-2-3 Kid did win, and maybe I don't know their whole feud that was going on. So if you guys want to go down in the comments, tell me exactly what was going on at this point. That'd be awesome. But it was nice seeing Marty Jannetty in this match also, even though like he kind of, he didn't really, what's the word I'm trying to say? He didn't really grow as a wrestler and stuff. He was kind of complacent and stuff. Because you look at his attire, he still got that rocker gear on, still got some music. So he was all right in the ring, but like I say, he was just really complacent. But like I said, the big focal point about this match was 1-2-3 Kid, being a heel, lining himself with Ted DiBiase and Psycho Sid. So it was an all right match, nothing special. And then the next match we had was a 4-on-4 Elimination Survivor Series match. And this was with the women this time, which this was the second women's traditional Survivor Series match ever since the first inaugural one back in 1987. It was basically Alundra Blaze's team. I'm not going to announce every woman in here because a majority of them are Japanese wrestlers. And if you guys want to go back and watch this, you guys can. This match, it wasn't really anything special. I really wasn't into it. And maybe because I didn't know much of the wrestlers on this show, and that's why I didn't really care. And I didn't really have much investment to this. wrestling back, the women's division back then in WWE was not that good, or WWF was not that good. Like, it was bad. I mean, the beginning of the match was all right, but towards the end, with Alundra Blaze, the match became like really sloppy at the end. But the team that would end up getting the victory, I think, it was Jera Kong. That's the only woman I'm going to announce. She was the sole survivor for her team. It wasn't Alundra Blaze team that won, so it kind of made a star over here in WWF at this point. Having the new women on top. And I kind of don't blame Alundra Blaze, for throwing that title in trash when she went to WCW, because that's kind of karma, for WWE and stuff. For having a bad women's division and communication issues. Maybe it was a barrier with this whole match and stuff, but still, it was not that good at all. But I mean, yeah, nothing really special about this match. And then the next match we had was Goldust going up against Bam Bam Bigelow, which I think this was Goldust's like pay-per-view debut, if I'm not mistaken. Nothing really special about this match. I mean, it was nice seeing, Goldust, get a pretty big win on like one of his first pay-per-views. I mean, a lot of wrestles by Goldust. I don't remember much from this match. It was fairly short. And of course, yeah, there's really not much else to say about this, but it's an alright win for Goldust here on, like I said, his first pay-per-view. And then the next match we had was another 4-on-4 Elimination Survivor Series match, traditional Survivor Series match. We had the Dark Side, Fatu, Henry Godwinn, Savio Vega, and The Undertaker, which was, the leader of the team, going up against the Royals, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, a.k.a. Triple H, Isaiah Yankman, if I'm saying that right. We got DDS, Jerry the King Lawler, and Mabel. This was The Undertaker's return back to pay-per-view, or the return, because he was feuding with Mabel back at King of the Ring 95, which, Mabel sat on Undertaker's face, so they brought Undertaker out, so they, kind of injured him on TV and stuff. But he came out on this pay-per-view with, wearing a mask, so it's kind of it's kind of seeing Undertaker and, seeing Yankman in this match, a.k.a., Kane in this match, a few years early. I thought that was pretty cool, seeing them kind of square off and stuff. But this was basically kind of like a squash match a little bit. I mean, Taker, once Taker finally got into the ring, he just was tombstoning everybody, eliminating people pretty quick. There was actually one cool spot in the match where Undertaker did a choke slam. He had Triple H was on the outside on the apron, and he choke slammed him into the ring. I thought that was pretty cool. But basically the whole Dark Side won this match. It was a clean sweep here. And of course, on the Survivor Series 2020 pay-per-view, we saw Savio Vega and Henry Godwinn come back. So that was pretty cool, seeing that happen here. What a coincidence, me watching this show, which I had no idea that, that was the Dark Side, Savio Vega and Henry Godwinn, and also seeing Fatu, a.k.a., Rikishi. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was an alright match. Seeing the younger Triple H also, and, seeing Kane before he, turned into Kane, with the mask. I thought it was alright. It wasn't bad. I mean, but the match wasn't really anything special, though. It was just nice seeing, some newer stars come onto the show, going into the future. And then the next match we had was the Wildcard 4-on-4 Survivor Series Elimination traditional match. So, kind of had some heels and faces on both sides of the teams. We had Ahmed Johnson, the British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels, and Psycho Sid, going up against Dean Douglas, Owen Hart, Razor Ramon and Yokozuna. I enjoyed this match for what it was. I mean, there was kind of some sloppy points in this match, but the winner of the sole survivors of this team were Ahmed Johnson, the British Bulldog, and Shawn Michaels. From both sides, we saw some dissension. We didn't know if the faces and the heels could work together during this match. We kind of saw some, Shawn Michaels and Psycho Sid, they kind of go at it, kind of break off their friendship a little bit. I liked that storyline a little bit there. That was pretty cool. What else did we see? Shawn Michaels, he's this amazing in the ring, and it showed that, how great he works compared to everybody basically else in this match. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, but we kind of saw some dissension from both teams even. I also like that how, kind of making the story out of Ahmed Johnson here, having him, kind of get the pinfall at the end there. I thought that was good. But it was an alright match. Like I said, Psycho Sid would turn on Shawn Michaels. And there was one point in the match, I think it was Razor Ramon. No, Shawn Michaels super kicked Psycho Sid. And then Razor Ramon, well, he wasn't. It was just a weird whole thing because Shawn Michaels got tagged in. Oh yeah, Psycho Sid tagged in Shawn Michaels, and then Shawn Michaels was going to super kick Razor Ramon. And it was just a weird situation, but Psycho Sid got pinned by Razor Ramon. It was weird because Psycho Sid was not the legal man in the match. It was Shawn Michaels. But it was an alright match. I'm not going to say it was the best traditional Survivor Series match, but I kind of like some of the stories that were going into this. So it was alright. Nonetheless, it was good. And then the main thing about this show, the main thing that I want to watch on this was the no disqualification match for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. We had Diesel defending the title against Bret Hart. This was a good match, really good storytelling. This is probably one of the best Diesel matches, that he had as world champion. Because I think he won it a year prior. It wasn't at Survivor Series 94, but it was one of the shows after that or something. So it was about a year. So that was pretty cool. But those competitors that he was facing before, that Diesel was facing before, were not very good matches. But here, this was a really good match. Storytelling behind it. And basically, the storyline behind it was, Bret Hart, he's, this is the title that he never lost. And basically, he says that for every title reign with the WWF Championship. He's saying, yeah, he never lost the title. And, they never really kind of had a clean match against each other. All of them kind of been screwy finishes. Because I think even at the Rumble, they had a screwy finish. I need to go back and watch that, though. But, no, this was fun. Like I said, the storytelling behind this match, Diesel kind of, selling his leg during the whole match, kind of being more aggressive also, having two different type of styles, the big man of Diesel, having more of a slower pace. And I even like in the match where Bret Hart, tied Diesel's leg up, so I thought that was pretty cool, with a microphone, and he just worked on his leg during the whole match, for the figure four leg lock or the sharpshooter, so that was pretty good. There's a pretty cool spot in the match, which I wasn't expecting, a table spot. Diesel pushed Bret Hart off the apron into the Spanish announce table, so I thought that was pretty cool there. I wasn't expecting a table spot on this show. Which I'm surprised I never watched this match, because this was a fun match. But Bret Hart would, nonetheless, he would end up winning the match and becoming WWF champion. And then after the match, we would see, basically a heel turn by Diesel, because he at this time he was a babyface. But yeah, we see him, kind of jackknife a whole bunch of people, jackknife a whole bunch of referees, and jackknife. Give Bret Hart a couple jackknives and then throw the title at Bret Hart. Basically, doing a heel turn with Diesel here. make it more edgy. Because this was the time before, the Click, or, him going to the NWO, or, going to WCW. So I like seeing, how they changed his character. But no, this was really good storytelling behind it. About Bret Hart getting his title back. Like he said, he never lost the title, he said. But no, this was a fun show. I enjoyed it, though. If I had to recommend to watch the show, I would say, yeah, watch it. Basically just for the main event. And, I feel like WWF at this point, they were kind of still lagging behind some different things. Like they weren't quite up to speed with what during the era that they were in, the mid 90s. Because I feel like they were doing some stuff that was still part of the, 80s and the early 90s. So I still feel like they were kind of lagging behind, especially, with the first match with, Marty Jannetty, he was still kind of wearing some, old 80s attire, So, yeah, that's what I kind of have a gripe with about this. Some of the characters and some of the music on here, they're kind of a little dated at this point in time in WWF. But I thought this was a fun show. Go down in the comments. Tell me what you thought of this show if you, watched it before. If you haven't watched it, I recommend to go watch it. Like I said, basically for the main event. And maybe even the Dark Side versus the Royals match, because that wasn't that bad. And maybe even for the Wildcard Survivor Series match. But, yeah, some videos that are coming up in the future, I'm going to do one more Survivor Series retro review before the end of November, because, it's still November, so I got why not do one more? I think I'm going to do the 2001 Survivor Series, so I'm going to do that sometime this weekend. And then I think that's going to be all I'm going to be doing for, the retro reviews for Survivor Series until next year. And then what else we got coming up? I think next week is War Games. I think next Sunday's War Games, November 6th. Let me check that really quick here. Yeah, I think it is November 6th, which is War Games. Yeah, so yeah, that's next weekend. So I'm going to be doing predictions for that show and have a review for that show. And also, next week is the match between Kenny Omega and John Moxley for the AEW Championship. I think I'm going to come on here and review that show. I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I might go live with it if anything crazy happens. I still might go live for that show. So stay tuned for that. And, we just got quite a bit of things coming up on the Juggernaut YouTube channel. So, like I said, if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, please smash that subscribe button. And this is your boy Juggernaut saying peace out. And I'll catch you guys in my next video.